Welcome to Sleighingit.Online's late night podcast, Sleighing Up Late. I'm Coughlin.
And I'm Kratos.
And we're up when you shouldn't be. Yeah, it's been a minute since we have been doing this, right? It's like, so what have you been up to lately?
Honestly, just life, man. I've been working, watching anime, gaming, just you name it. I've kind of been doing it. The newest thing I've been into is Ghost of Tsushima on the PS5, bro.
Oh,
My
yeah?
God, it is beautiful. That game is amazing. Lets you play completely to your style. You just want to be super stealthy and never have any confrontation. You can do that. Or if you want to be like super honorable as a samurai, you can also do that. But that game has just completely like sucked me in, bro. To be like 100% fair. Like
Okay, so which one is this? Is this the Dark Souls one, or is this like the action RPG one? Which one was this? Because there's like a lot of samurai ones. Okay.
Yeah. No, this isn't the one you're thinking of, the Dark Souls one. That's Sekiro.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that's right. I haven't been able to. It's not that I haven't been able to. It's just those are primarily PlayStation games, right? So
Yeah.
I'm an Xbox guy, so I think Sekiro's on PC, right?
Yes, it is. I actually own it on PC.
Oh, that might be something worth checking out. Oh, so all right. It's like, oh, it goes to Tsushima. Oh, yeah, isn't he supposedly voiced by, like... Hold on. All right, so we got to get this cleared up, too, right? So, do you listen to it with English or Japanese voice actors?
Anime?
No, Ghost of...
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to do two different playthroughs.
Okay.
So, my first playthrough, I'm doing the Ghost style. Like, I literally do not do confrontations unless it's like the last three, because then I can do what's called a standoff, where if I time my buttons right, I can get it insta-kill. So I'm being very stealthy, and I'm doing the English voice acting, and it's still with subtitles on, just in case so. But the second playthrough I'm going to do, they have, I forget what exactly it's called, but it's like the way this legendary, like, old-style Japanese filmmaker did, where it's black and white with the bars and kind of grainy.
Oh,
and I'm going to do that mode. Yeah, I'm going to do that mode with Japanese voice acting on my second playthrough. And I'm going to be super honorable and play exactly like a samurai should be. Like, not stealth at all unless, like, the mission requires stealth. Otherwise, I fail it. I'm going to be like, fight me, Mongols! You know?
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that those playstyles. Because I do remember, I guess, watching a little bit of that gameplay. I think I heard somewhere that it was actually voiced by Zoro from One Piece. That's
from One
yeah,
Piece? Really?
Yeah. So
okay.
I think
I'll have to check that out.
I think that's the case. I don't know. I could be lying right now. No, why fact check when you have the internet? So all right. Well, I guess my past couple weeks have been pretty boring because I do taxes this time of year, so it's just been extremely busy doing that. That's been my life. So unfortunately, Okay, so there is a bit of a positive with that.
Okay.
And that is, I have 3 weeks worth of anime to catch up on, which
that's always a plus.
So thank goodness, because the first episode of Rising of the Shield Hero was not a very good first episode to come back on.
I haven't seen it yet. That show, I love that show, so I'm gonna wait to binge it. But you can tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, yeah, I won't go into it. But I will say this: I fell asleep in the middle of the second episode. Because I was just tired in the first place. I didn't fall asleep because it was boring. I fell asleep because I just happened to be a tired person at the time. I will say, but it did get me a little bit concerned. Because it does roll right into it. It's almost as if there wasn't a gap. There's no recap. There's nothing like that. It kind of rolls right into it. Kind of like I think what Log Horizon did for its season 2. Where it just like, oh, hey, remember that thing? Yeah, we're right there where we left off.
I kind of don't mind that, to be fair, because like what I don't know if a lot of anime people, anime watchers, do this, but I will rewatch season 1 right before.
I recommend you do that. I think it'll be a lot better because they don't reintroduce you to the characters. So if you don't remember a certain person or what the situation was from season 1, you're not going to find out. You better rewatch season 1, which is great, honestly, because that way, and like for future generations or anybody in the future who wants to watch the show, it almost would be like, you just roll right into it. It's almost like there's no gap at all. But
I don't know.
it is hard to follow up the story arc from the first season. I realized it was almost
Yeah,
like its own complete story in the
it
first
kind of
season,
was. Yeah, because he
and
had his whole redemption. That was the whole first season.
exactly,
He had to like unprove that he didn't do all this terrible shit that everyone accused him of, and yeah, I loved it. That first season was like really good, honestly.
yeah, exactly. So it's going to be pretty hard to follow that up because it had a nice, concise story arc.
Yeah.
And it's just rolling into something else that, gosh, I'm not going to lie. I don't really care about the story right now. And to be honest, what drew me in the season one was that first episode, right?
Yeah, because it
It
was also
was.
45 minutes long too.
Oh, was it? Oh man, I don't
Yeah,
remember.
that's the thing that a lot of people I don't think about is episode 1 of Shield Hero was 45 minutes.
Oh, so it had a lot of time to really establish a good story from there. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's about all I've seen since I like really started going down, calming down. So, what have you been watching?
I've been watching because I'm still behind on last season's. I
Uh huh.
watched for this season weekly. The two that I'm watching are I'm quitting heroing, and I'm enjoying that pretty good. And trapped in a game simulator, or like a VN, basically. Trapped in a visual novel simulator, or something like that. Those two are really good. I'm watching those weekly. But from last season, I'm almost done with the Genius Prince's Guide to Rising a Nation Out of Debt.
Mm-hmm.
Which, full disclosure, a lot of people memed saying it was basically how a Realist Hero built the Kingdom Season 3. And I do get that. There's a lot of similarities, but they're different enough. I think How a Realist is more comedic, but it's really, I'm enjoying it. It's really good. It's one of those anime that's not like great, but I don't think it's terrible either. It's a very good like B tier anime.
Oh,
You know?
okay. Cause oh
Yeah.
man, what was one of the things that crossed my mind whenever you're talking about it? The visual novel one. Because there's another like
Mm-hmm.
visual novel anime that's going out as well,
Really?
Isekai. Where was it like I'm the villain? I was like I'm the villain of the visual novel or something like that.
I have not heard of this.
Oh
Huh.
yeah, it's like on its second season or something right now. I think it might be more towards the female demographic, if I'm being honest.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's like a
so
reverse harem or something like that.
yeah, well, she apparently the protagonist used to play a bunch of visual novels,
Okay.
and she happens to be transported into the world of one of the games that she played. The thing is
Uh-huh.
that she isn't the protagonist this time. She's actually the rival girl. I guess that's a thing in like female visual novels. You have this other woman that
Rival
you
girl.
compete with. Yeah. For is that
I
a
think that's an
thing?
anime thing. Well, I think that's more an anime thing because, in all honesty, in all the visual novels I played,
Uh-huh.
more or less they had their individual routes, and like maybe on a certain individual route they'll butt heads with another like girl, but I don't think it's
Mhm.
really for like the love of the main guy. I think it's just because there's some kind of problem. Because in all the VN, I could be wrong. I played a lot of VNs, but I still haven't played probably as many as like a lot of what quote unquote veterans have played. But
Mhm.
and the ones I've seen, that's never been a thing where they're like, I love him, no, I love him. No, once you're established on a girl's route, you're on her route, and then the other girl has her own
Well,
route.
what if you're a girl on a guy's route? That's what I'm saying. And then you have to
Oh,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't know. I don't know if that's a thing for like female oriented visual novels. Like if
well,
that's
I was about to say, full disclosure, I've never played a visual novel where you're the girl.
yeah, exactly. So I have no idea if because apparently like there's a rival for the guys that you go after and she just happens to go into the game where she's the rival.
Rival. Huh. That
So
sounds
now
really interesting.
so now she's in this weird predicament because this game whenever the rival loses, extremely bad stuff happens to her.
Oh no.
so so she's constantly navigating trying to like become friends with the protagonist now to like not be like
Uh-huh.
sent to prison or anything like that. And
Jesus.
it then it turns into a reverse well into a
Harem.
yeah where she is now like now all of a sudden all the guys like her instead including the protagonist.
Wow.
So and she's completely oblivious because she's pretty much doing everything to not have a really bad life and it turned
Uh-huh.
around to where she's now the protagonist,
main
quote unquote.
character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Huh.
So it's pretty
Interesting.
funny, but
Yeah.
but I can't relate because I have no idea. There might be references in there that just go over my head. Let me see if I can find it. But in the meantime, what any dark and gritty shows?
Any dark and gritty for this?
Oh my gosh!
Sorry about that. Just dying out of nowhere. Don't worry about it.
It's like, it's all right. I'll give you CPR over the unit.
You know, 1, 2. Oh, I'm better. I don't think there's any like super dark shows this season. Let me even look. I got Mal up because I was kind of like curious this summer real quick. I would say that the darkest thing is probably going to be that Rising of the Shield Hero season 2 if they continue that vibe from season 1, which I don't know if they are or aren't.
I'll tell
Actually,
you what.
I take that back. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, there was something that happened in episode 1 that I completely forgot was okay, so you know how in season 1 Raftelia or whatever, she's a slave, right? And she like refused to actually give it up for some reason.
Huh?
Like she wanted to keep it. And like I'm not
the slave crest?
Yeah. And in episode 1 she casually talks to another person who wants to be on his team. I'm not going to like give you too many spoilers, but again, you may not even know the character even if I did tell you the name. Said, "Hey, you should become his slave so you can get stronger." And I was like, "Oh, this is a casual conversation happening right now." It's like it's like I'm kind of disconnected from what's going on.
I think in the original season 1, the whole reason she wanted to keep it was because it was like their bond, their connection.
Yeah,
like
I get it. It's like a ring to her, honestly. It's her version of marriage.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess, but she does have like some merit in the fact that like if you do become his quote unquote slave, like you guys share XP and stats and stuff.
That's
so she's kind of not wrong.
Yeah,
but yeah, I take it back. There is one kind of dark anime. I don't know much about it. But I just like saw a clip, like a 20-second clip, and I have to fucking watch more of it. It's called Summertime Render.
Okay.
So basically, this dude grows up in this town. I'm just reading the synopsis to you. And then he moves away, and he had 2 female childhood friends. Well, one of them drowns saving somebody, so he comes back to like honor her death. And turns out like it's a murder mystery. Like maybe she was murdered instead of drowned. And the clip that I saw that got into this, I had none of that context. That's just a synopsis, like the overall. It was like some chick holding a gun to another chick's head, and the main character just fucking rushes forward and gets domed. And I'm like, what the hell is this anime? I gotta watch more.
That's how you get them. Was it Summertime Render?
Yes, Summertime Render.
Do you know who's streaming that?
I don't know who's streaming it. No, because it doesn't say on here.
Doesn't seem to be Crunchyroll. Because that's about all I got. Honestly, was what's out there anymore? Because after Crunchyroll got Funimation, it was a VRE or something. Isn't that what it is?
I think Sentai is still their own thing. Okay. So it's Sentai, and then like VRE or VRM, something like that. And then it's Crunchyroll / Funimation because they're together now. Which is weird because you can still have a Funimation account, but not a Crunchyroll. I don't know how that's gonna work going forward. It's really weird.
Oh, I don't think they'll just tell anyone. It's just like, hey, we're getting money from this thing too. Why not?
Yeah, I was about to say they're just gonna like leave it open. I think what they're literally doing is like if you have a Funimation account, you can keep that open and you still get access to the same stuff as a Crunchyroll, but they're promoting the Crunchyroll. It's weird. I feel like the way they're going about it to me is a little sketch because I feel like they're gonna catch a lot of suckers and they're like, oh, maybe you have to subscribe to both. I'm like, no, you get the same thing no matter what subscription you do. Like it's the same company now.
Oh my god, the irregular at it's multiple versions. See, that confuses me sometimes. So whenever you're looking for like a show that you might like, one of the things that I look at is how many videos is it? You know what I mean? Like that's not crazy. And now that they have it in like 15 different languages, they count each of those languages as a video.
Oh my
So it's like, oh my
god.
god, there's like 100 videos here. It's like, oh, that's awesome. It's just one season in like 15 languages.
Jesus. It's a little ridiculous, man. I'm not gonna lie. Oh no.
All right.
Yeah, but I need to check that anime out. I think episode 1's already out. Episode 2 might be coming out soon. Yeah.
Oh no, it might.
So I'll look. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, there's Rising of the Shield Hero is 3 episodes in right now, so it might even be on episode 3.
It might be. You might be right. Now, one that is starting late for I don't know what reason, but I'm super into is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's basically this.
They're doing an anime
guy.
of the One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I think I lied on the title a little bit.
I was gonna say,
couple
it's like
of cuckoos.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's like, really?
Do you know why I said that? In my head, I couldn't say cuckoo because I kept saying like cuck, and I'm like, no, that's probably not how they mean it.
Cuckoo.
Yeah, so the way I meant to say it, I was thinking of that movie, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, because that's how you're supposed to say it, and I fucking ended up saying that title to the actual title. Oh, my dingus, bro.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's a couple of cuckoos. Okay,
all right. A couple of cuckoos flew over the cuckoo's nest. Wait, what?
Episode 1 isn't even out yet. It's coming out the 24th. It's crazy how long into the season they're waiting. And it's going to be like 24 episodes. So, like, it's crazy how long they're waiting to release anything. But the premise for it is basically there's this kid. He got switched at birth by accident. Mm-hmm. So he finds out about his actual biological parents. He goes, oh, I'm going to go meet him. He runs into this girl. And this girl's like, hey, can you pretend to be my fake boyfriend? Just get my parents off my back.
And that's the person that he switched up with at birth.
Yep. And that's his parents. Yep.
Yeah, I felt like we talked about this last podcast, but it was like...
I think we did, actually.
Yeah, it's like 3 weeks ago. Trust me, I am not that good at predicting storylines, so we must have.
I don't know. It's giving me like a Toradora vibe in the sense that it's going to be a romantic comedy. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be good. I hope it is.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Oh, man, but it's... I'm trying to think of the last time. Now that you mentioned comedy, I can't think of the last time that I really had an anime that I really laughed, except for, I guess, Love is War. But that laughter is more of
chuckle.
I don't know. It's like, I don't want to say uncomfortable laughter because it's more like, nostalgic. It's like it was how do I say it? Because there's sometimes they do things. Yeah, they do things that I've done. Like, and I was like,
yeah, you're like, so you're laughing, you're like, wait, yeah, you start cringing at yourself. You're like, exactly. But I did that. No, you start getting shamed. No, not like this.
Exactly. I'm trying to remember the one situation.
Oh my god.
I think we've been in like not obviously One for One, but that Umbrella episode, where they're trying to like plays like, oh, who's gonna hold the umbrella over me and stuff like that.
Who's gonna reveal that they have an umbrella or don't have an umbrella? Yeah, and then the best friend goes, "Oh, I brought an extra one for you."
Exactly.
Oh, that's hilarious, bro. That's hilarious. Oh man.
I think it was. I think it was with the girl, and she was like trying to like. She had the ability to get picked up from school, but I think she lied to act like her parents wouldn't be able to pick her up. So I should take her home. And I was like, but she didn't want to like ask me for it, but it was like implied. And so I'm trying to like get her to ask me for it. So I was like saying, "Oh, I have somewhere else to go afterwards." Like, you know.
You literally lived that scenario.
Yeah, exactly. So
I was like she clearly had a backup plan, but she was like, "Oh, I just want to show your umbrella, Coughlin Coon."
Exactly. So that's why.
But she couldn't say it because it was too embarrassing. So she's trying to, oh yes, I'll manipulate him into offering his umbrella, and you're like, nah, you gotta ask if you want to receive. That's hilarious.
Oh man, and that what's her face? I don't remember her name. I just know that everyone loved that one ending in season 1. I think my sister like watches that thing on repeat to this day. And I don't get it. I never found those kind of dances and the high pitched voice thing that adorable. I know that probably puts me in a huge minority.
The high pitch and the Fujiwara-san, or
Yeah,
the
yeah,
pink
yeah.
hair chick.
Yeah, I don't mind
I've
her.
seen like mix-ups of it, so like not the high-pitched voice, but like there'll be like a rap song, and then she's doing like the dancing, and it's like flashing colors. And so what they do is instead of actually showing the fluid dance, it'll be like pose, and then like ooh, it like flips the frame sideways, does another pose, and it's like a rap. Those are dope. The
Oh,
original
all
one,
right.
it's okay, but it's like I've seen like way better edits of it, and then when I actually got to watching it, I was like, the dance is cool.
Oh yeah, I think that's what everyone was like really excited about, like the high quality of animation for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Love is War just has gorgeous animation in general. It's one of those shows where I'm normally like, I don't care about the animation. And then I was like, oh, actually good animation is a really awesome thing. It's like, I didn't realize that.
I like Demon Slayer, bro. Like, it has great fucking visuals.
I think I told you about that whenever I mentioned the looking up through the trees and how realistic the trees looked. How it's like, do you rotoscope trees? Like, how does that work?
I forget the director's name right now, but the guy who directed Your Name, he has a bunch of anime movies that he does, and they just look so fucking realistic. It's like, wow. Like, I feel like I'm in an anime when I watch his movies, how beautiful they look. Absolutely stunning.
But I'll tell you what, I haven't, but like I said, I haven't been able to really watch anything. I haven't started watching Boruto again to try and see if it actually got good, which you suspect that if I like fights, I would like what's coming up.
There's a lot of clapping.
Let's see. But I'm seeing a lot of videos on YouTube, like still images of them, and he's like getting all emoed out with his like he's like looking, he's like getting all edgy with his like blue stripe on his face, and I don't know what that's all about.
So there was a big bad guy. I don't know the lore or anything because I never got into it. I just had someone basically like tell me about it because he was super into it. I never really watched a single episode, so I'm like, but you seem interested. So, and I just saw a fight scene that looked cool, so I go ahead and explain the lore and all that. So he was talking about it. So basically, there's these like aliens, I guess, in Naruto. It was like
wait, you mean it's the people that what Kaguya?
Yeah,
isn't that who it was?
Yeah, so basically her people, they always go in twos, and they're supposed to conquer whatever planet they go to. Well, they're like the big bads now, and so like I guess in Naruto they beat Kaguya or whatever, the original one. Yeah. So they sent 2 more, and one of them was like super fucking powerful, was clapping everybody, and then I think Naruto comes and claps him. And then they're like, oh man, it's finally over. Well, he was the weaker of the 2, and then the stronger one comes, and he starts clapping everybody, but he gets clapped back. So what he does is he possesses Boruto, because what they do is they possess someone, and then what they'll do is literally after X amount of time passes, they kill their host and reemerge out of them. That's how they are like quote unquote immortal. So he's possessing Boruto right now.
That sounds
that's what that is.
Awesome. It's like all right, that could be pretty cool. I could see that going places.
So oh man, they kind of nerf Naruto hard in a kind of good way, but like in that same episode, they fucking nerfed Sasuke, and they did him so dirty the way they did it.
What do you mean? Oh well, so what did they do? Because I'm a little bit confused about Sasuke's power level right now, because he gave up his arm, right? Because he's he's
Mhm.
Sasuke, and that's I would expect nothing less from what Sasuke would do. That's really on character for him, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Well,
So,
essentially, like his Rasengan or whatever, like one of his eye things, he
mm-hmm.
was using it to try and help Naruto, and Naruto went this super, super ultra Saiyan Mach 80 fucking mode. Like, I don't want to talk about that too much because I'll save it for when you watch it because it's fucking awesome. Like the clips alone I saw from that were great. But basically, he's like using it to like try and track Naruto and the big bad, one of the other alien big bad, because there's like 8 in total, and like the first 4 got collapsed. Now even more powerful ones are coming. Like who the fuck's clapping all our people, you know? And
Right.
so Naruto's fighting him, and while he's doing that, the guy possessing Boruto possesses him and stabs him in the fucking eye, making him lose it.
Oh God! Like
I was
seriously,
like, yeah, he fucking.
your one power gone.
Yep, he got stabbed in the eye, and now he's useless.
Jeez.
I was like, my
Why would
god.
you do that to Sasuke? And it's funny because I just saw like a video, not a video, but like an image the other day where it showed them comparing Vegeta and Sasuke to
Uh-huh.
one another, and they were clearly
Yeah.
Naruto fans because they really uh, did not like Vegeta and the stuff that he did. So hearing that that's what happened to Sasuke, I was like,
It's like
well,
one of the more
that never
recent
happened to
stuff.
Vegeta. At least they had
Yeah,
Dragon Balls, so they could fix that.
I know,
Um,
right? Like, they just collect the Dragon Balls instantly. Hey, we like to fix Vegeta's power level back to normal, get his eye back. Okay, cool. Sasuke just now blind.
yeah, he's
Good job, you're.
unlocked a new version of the Sharingan, the blind
He
mode.
just he grows a third eye in the middle of his forehead, just
God,
just opens up.
I wouldn't put it past them. I like that. That seems like something they could do. So it's like inner Sharingan.
Yeah. Oh man.
Turns out
Yeah,
he
they
can
might do
copy
it.
everything. It's really great at inner observation, so you can copy whatever it is that you do. Wait,
It just
what?
summons younger Sasuke from the past, the edgy one, who still had all the power.
Oh God! It's like I was like he pops out. I was like, so are you pre or post killing of Itachi?
I know, right? Like, yeah, where your loyalties lie, exactly. Oh
uh,
man.
I'm actually looking through Crunchyroll news right now. I used to be so addicted to this
Yeah.
back in the day. I used to like watch the like go through these news articles all the time. But
Oh yeah.
then, you get older and you're like, I don't care anymore. It's like I just want to
I
watch
don't
the shows.
care.
It's
He said literally, I don't give a shit. He
I
said,
just don't like whenever it's like, oh, Akihabara is opening up a new store. Like 10 years ago it would have been like awesome. Now I'm like, I'll never go there.
yeah,
I've
who
reached
gives a
that
shit?
point.
I can't afford to go there.
It's so
Why
expensive.
Japan? Why must you tickle my balls this way?
I looked at the cost of the tickets. It's like $6,000 round trip plane tickets, and
And
I'm
that's
like,
just for the plane. That's not
yeah,
accounting for eating, lodging, like if you want to buy anything while you're there, like
yeah, it's just not happening, man. It's just not. But so it is what it is. I've learned to back away a
accept
little
it.
bit from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is, they
I,
do have fun stuff sometimes. Like that's how I find out about some shows that are coming out. Is through this.
you know, I just need to hit the lottery, bro, and I'm
That's
going.
that's right, and that's what it'll take. Um, let's. The. You think they're gonna make a movie out of the entertainment district in Demon Slayer? You think they're
No,
gonna
it's just
make
gonna
an?
be its own arc.
Yeah, I mean, I
Well, wait,
understand it's gonna
the
be
one
its
that
own,
just aired. The one that just aired. Yeah.
right, but
I don't think so.
I wonder if they're gonna make that a thing though, where they're constantly gonna have movies linking the arcs together. They must be doing
Well,
that, right? Because it was so successful the first one. You'd be dumb to not try and repeat that
do it
success,
again.
right?
Well, here's what happened with the first one, right? The movie came out first. Then the
Uh-huh.
movie was so successful that they were like, well, we can make it 8 episodes and put in more content in there for people. So the season 2 is already out. So if they were to try and make a movie recap of that now, I feel like I feel like
Oh, okay.
Western audiences wouldn't like that. The whole reason they do movie recaps is
Mm-hmm.
because A, the show's popular enough, and B, people spend the money to watch a recap, especially if it's been like a long time.
Right.
Season 3 is literally coming out, I think, soon. They already announced it, so they are not pumping the brakes on that train anytime soon. So I don't think they're gonna do that again for a hot minute. I think it was just one of those things that like it was so popular and made them so much money that they were like, "Oh fuck it, we can afford to stretch it out."
Yeah,
Because the
because
whole reason you do movies is to save on money a little bit, kind of in a sense. Because like
uh huh.
you can technically pour more money into animation stuff because it is a movie, but you're
Right.
also technically saving because you're not having to do as many episodes, right? It doesn't have to be as long. So
I suppose that's how they balance the budget there. Because I would
yeah,
assume that, but I bet does
because if
the
you think about
qual
it, let's
increase in
say
quality of animation
yeah,
outweigh the cost of more man hours? Because that's what it comes down to. Because you
yeah.
need more
Well,
time to
also,
create more episodes, but you need higher quality,
hmm,
well, footage for a movie. So I don't know
yeah,
what
I
where
think the
it
way
comes
they
down
do
to
it
it.
is like so movies like what an hour and a half. So that's
Mm-hmm.
roughly 3, 4 episodes, right? So what you're doing is you're saying, okay, we're gonna take this arc that's not very long, not very
Mm-hmm.
big,
Yeah.
and we can either stretch it out and put filler in and have fans hate us,
Yeah.
or we can just make it a movie. And when you make it a movie, because it's not as long, you
Mm-hmm.
can make the art style even better. So like, because you're like, okay, look, we're going to make this movie, and instead of having to make like we'll say a 5 out of 7 on the animation, you can do a 7 out of 7 because it's not as long, and it's just the one movie. So it's pros and cons, it's give and take.
Yeah. I just don't
Um,
know like where it comes down to because you think about that all the time whenever you like look at those old TV shows and how much it costs per episode and you're
yeah,
like saying, "Oh, it's like, oh, this person got paid $16 million per episode." You're like, "What? Why?"
bro, can I just get paid 16 million a year? Like the fuck?
Oh, jeez. You got me beat. Uh, but I guess the real question is, are they going? But you said season three's already announced. Do you think
hmm
they're going to do a movie to bridge the gap between two and three?
I don't think so. I think they're just gonna dive right into it.
Yeah, I don't know. It was
I'm not
I
putting
guess
it past them. They might do like a recap movie kind of deal because I know
I
what is
hope
it, Sword
not.
Art Online does that a lot.
Do
But
they? I didn't know Sword Art Online
was
even
it
had
Sword Art
any
Online?
movies.
It has Progressive, which is its own thing. It's a
Uh
really good
huh.
movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Was it Sword Art Online? I'm trying to remember what anime it was. It basically had no, it was slime. Excuse me. As much as I love Reincarnated as a slime,
Uh huh.
season one has like 3 recap episodes, and then I think the first episode of season two is another recap or like a movie. They did some movie, and it was another recap. So like I literally watched like 3 hours of the same shit,
Oh God.
and
I
I didn't
almost did that
realize
with
it
Mugen
because like
Train
I didn't
for
realize it because like they change it up slightly different, right? So like it's the same
yeah.
events, but it's narrated by like Veldora, and then another one they add 30 seconds of new footage at the end. I'm like, wow, I
And
just
it's
sat through
really
3 hours of the same
unnecessary
shit. Yeah,
because they did that with the Demon Slayer movie, right? Like the first like couple of episodes of season two was the Mugen Train arc.
well, season two, what they did was they stretched it out into its own arc. So it was the movie. The movie did so well. Then they said, okay, you guys like the movie. You keep asking for more. We're gonna make Mugen Train its own arc of an anime. So they made it 8 episodes,
Maybe it's
and it was
because
right
I
before season
watched.
two.
You know what? I think I may have just skipped those episodes because I didn't start watching Demon Slayer season two until it had all come out. And I think I may have just skipped all those episodes because I saw the movie.
Yeah. So now
Should I not
it
have
was
done
literally so
that? Did I miss
popular.
things?
They added some footage, like a lot of footage. It was a lot more than 5 minutes because they stretch into 8 episodes, and
Mm.
however long the movie is. So let's say the movie's an hour and a half. That's typically about 4 episodes, give or take an episode.
Mm-hmm.
So they added quite a bit. I think a lot of it was like a little bit of comedy in the beginning, and then maybe some more like serious. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Well,
I'm
hopefully they
actually
didn't
really far
extend the
behind.
fight because that was like, I mean, the fights were gorgeous
Uh,
as usual. So that kind of didn't need to be said. I will say the
I kind
fight
of.
was starting to get a little boring though, because it kind of
Oh yeah.
kept doing that whole thing of him constantly cutting himself in his dream to
What the
constantly get
hell?
out of it. And it was just over and over and over again. I was like, okay, you found the solution to your problem. Are you gonna win or not?
You
So
gonna win or not? I haven't seen season 2 yet, but I heard that like that is kind of a problem. Is they drag that last fight out? I hear like they kind of do the
yeah,
anime thing.
you
Where
you
like
need to watch it.
they,
It's really great, but
I
you're
do. I'm
they're
behind.
not
I need to catch
wrong.
up.
It is
I've
really
heard that.
strange.
Yeah. It's like they're like, oh, I'm gonna push past my limits. Like 10-minute recap of the last episode, basically in fight form. Then 8 minutes of like sad, depressing, why we should feel bad for the demon backstory. Then like 30 seconds of raw Saiyan mode 80, and then bam, to be continued. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, just finish the fight at that point.
Oh my god. Oh, and you're gonna have to definitely increase your level of increase your suspension of disbelief for what's his face, the lightning kid, whatever.
Oh, Zenitsu?
Yeah, he is. I almost wonder if he's messing with us at this point.
He's
Whether or
just
not
like
he.
super OP.
Well, the thing is that you know how his power doesn't really come out until he like falls asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a lot of things for somebody who's asleep for a very long period of time. I'm starting to think to myself, maybe he just has a split personality disorder or something like that that only comes out when he quote unquote is asleep, as opposed to he loses his
Being
fears when he's
asleep.
asleep.
Yeah, because I think the whole like um what you call it, the whole trick behind it is
Mm-hmm.
that he's so quote unquote scared he literally faints while standing up, and then that's when he becomes a badass. And then they try to
Right.
explain it like, oh, his training was so severe that it was beat into him even while he was sleeping. I'm like, I don't care like how well trained you are, you cannot do that shit while asleep. Like, I would rather it just be split personality disorder,
Yeah,
and
I
he has
think
this
that's what's
really
happening
cool
because once
thing.
you see the fight, you're like, there's no way he's doing this while sleeping. None of this.
Yeah.
Like, he's conversing with people. He's having
What
full
the
fledged
fuck?
conversations and battle tactics while his eyes are closed and sleeping. It's like, he's like leading, he's like coordinating strikes with people verbally.
What,
And it's like,
what the fuck?
no. It's like, I don't know what's going on right now, but he's not
Like, I
sleeping.
get it. I can handle demons. I can handle sword forms. Water coming out of. I can handle all that. I can't handle this man being asleep talking. This is bullshit.
It's just, I'm telling you, whenever you watch it, because you're going to get used to it because, of course, like they told you, it is a pretty long fight. I think it's like 4 episodes,
Jesus.
maybe
Okay.
more
Probably like
of the
5 or
fight.
6.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was because I was hoping. How much of it have you watched?
Season 2?
Yeah.
None. I just know that the fight
Okay.
is long.
Well, let me just put it this way. I think that there's an anime that I'm going to watch because of that show. Because
Huh?
because as you can tell from the name of the arc, it's called like the entertainment district, right? The red
Okay.
light district. That's where they're going to.
Yeah.
And
No,
so
I get it. Prostitutes. Yeah.
exactly. So they get in there and they pose as these prostitutes.
The boys?
Yeah.
What the
It's
fuck?
hilarious. But I watched it and like the whole drama around them first getting in there, I thought to myself, "Oh my god. I never realized that I really wanted to watch a show with this theme before." It's like I really want to watch the journey of like early industrial area Japan prostitutes in a red light district. Can I get a show that's like 100% that? Can I get the drama behind that? Why, I had no idea that this was a genre for me.
This is a genre for me. Japanese prostitutes.
Oh my god, it's like in their stories, like, yeah, tell me about how like your father like abused you when you were a little kid and you wanted to leave on your own and you were forced to be put in this position. Tell me more. Tell me more about
That's just
this story.
that's just your everyday whore on the corner in the USA, bro.
Yeah, but it's different.
It's different. They're cute.
It's too real when it's here. It's
It's
like
too real.
I need it 100 years ago in another country.
In another country where the characters are hand drawn and look absolutely kawaii and the voice acting is spot on. That's
Exactly. It's like I need a lot more distance to be able to enjoy that story, but I would enjoy that story.
I would enjoy that story. Oh yeah, tell me again how you just couldn't take the daily beatings and left home and became a whore. Oh yeah.
It's like,
Look into my eyes with your big anime eyes as you tell me this.
I'm going to be the emperor's concubine one day. You go, girl. You
go,
pursue
girl.
that dream.
You be his concubine. You ride that royal dick, bro. You let me know how that turns out for you.
It's like wear t-shirts being like you support that character, stuff like that.
God damn it, dude. Could you imagine, like, the funny part, because, you know, it's an anime, but also the kind of fucked up part at the same time about, like, once upon a time, that was someone's sole aspiration. If I can be one of the Emperor's mistresses, I have it made. That's kind of depressing.
I guess if you think about it, like isn't that what
if
a
you think
gold
about
digger
it too
is?
hard, I mean, I guess you're not wrong.
Like
it's just allowed to be more of them. You're not even the main one. You're like, oh yeah, let me just be one of the side hoes. Like,
hey, I guess in a.
God damn.
I guess whenever you're in you're right. It is a little depressing, not necessarily because that's their aspiration, but really what the alternative was for life in general, where you were before, like I would have to say, well, the early 1900s. Every day was a challenge, like just to get food.
Jesus.
Like and yeah,
Amen.
if you became a concubine of the emperor, you're like, I never have to worry about starvation again.
Depending on the emperor, he probably had enough. You only had to probably fuck him one day of the month. You're like, yeah, I get banged one day of the month, and I get unlimited food. Yo.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so win. It's like a winning. Can I get some of that?
When is the reverse of that gonna happen? Like, when is there gonna be some rich old lady who just takes in a bunch of fucking guys? And
I'm pretty sure that already exists, right?
Why am I not one of these guys? Why can I not just bang her once a month and just get unlimited food and money? What is this shit?
You're not asking the right questions, apparently.
Oh my god. I'm not in the right groups, apparently. This needs to happen.
Where's
Please.
that circle?
Come on, get me the Sugar Mama circle. Where is it? And how can I acquire more?
Oh man, and that's growing. I know it has to be. There's no way it's not. There's no way that's not a thing right now.
Imagine it this way. Imagine you get a couple of them who they already have a bunch of guys, right? So you get it like, maybe you do like you're the Monday guy for this one girl. Let's say we'll have fake names, you know. If you actually have these names and you're listening, I'm not calling you out for being a whore or sugar mama or anything. I'm just using names. So we'll have Emily. So let's say you're Emily's Monday like guy, right? And then you're Susan's Tuesday guy. You could have a whole week of sugar mamas where you're constantly just getting Pleasure Town, right? And you're also getting paid by each of these women. Like, that's big brain right there, bro. Monday through Friday, I'm working hard, and then Saturday and Sunday, I'm my R&R days, bro. Where I spend my money on myself.
Yeah, I have my therapy on Saturday morning. I have my dentist appointment in the afternoon every Saturday because I need that cleaned.
Oh yeah.
My doctor's appointment Sunday morning.
In my mouth. My doctor's appointment, bro. But I'm gonna be going to each of them in a different Bentley, bro. Come on.
Exactly.
You have to take some L's for your own team at some point in life, bro. Come on.
Yeah, if you want it, you got. Well, that's the thing. If you're probably wanting to get to, I don't know, because that's got to be a thing. I just wouldn't even know where to begin looking for that. What's
This
that?
all circles back to this is how I'm funding my trip to go to Japan. I just
That's
pleasure
right.
the shit out of a bunch of sugar mamas, so 1 month of the year I can take off and go party it up in Japan.
Yeah, exactly. So there's, oh, what was it? It's the Producers. Have you seen the Producers?
I'm not.
Oh God, the musical. Okay, so they. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the show because I don't know if you're ever going to
Go
watch the
for it.
musical, right?
I
So,
probably won't. But go for it.
all right. So it starts off with this failed producer. He used to be really successful, but musical after musical turns out to be a flop. So he brings in an accountant to balance his books for tax purposes, and he said, "Huh." It's like, oh, here's all these expenses. Why I don't know you can deduct them. He's like, come on, man, it's already a loss. He's like, who cares where you put it? It's like just like throw it around. And he's like, huh, okay, I'll make it work. And then he like stopped. He's like, oh, I guess if you follow this philosophy, you could make more money with a flop than you could with a hit. He's like, wait, what? And then he goes through this whole idea. Goes through the whole idea. It's like, oh yeah, you just generate all this like cash, count it all as a loss, hide the money that you got from it under the table, and then you have this huge gain from the funds. And you just run away with the money. And so all of a sudden they get into business. It's like, all right, we're going to create the worst musical ever. So he goes to, so first thing, step one, they find the worst script, and they found a script, Springtime for Hitler. And it's just a big show, just pretty much it's a very positive musical towards Hitler. And then they find the worst director, and then they hire the worst actors. It just so and where I was coming from before, how he raises the money is that he whores himself out to all of the old ladies in New York under the guise of raising money for the play. And he's like, "Oh, what's the name of the play?" And she's like, "Oh, he's like, just it's the play that I told you earlier." He's like, funny name for a play, Cash." So he gets all of these. So he raises up millions of dollars for this musical, and they're like, "It's like, all right." So the musical starts. It shows people leaving the theater because they're so offended, and then they leave. And they're like, "All right, we did our job." And then all of a sudden, it turns into a comedy where all of a sudden this perception of the musical is not because he just happens to be played by an extremely flamboyant actor. So Hitler is being played by this flamboyant actor. So now it turns into a comedy, making fun of Hitler. And then, yeah, exactly. So it just completely comes crashing down on him. So now they have to go to prison because they have all all these funds that are unaccounted for towards raising, and the IRS like throws them in jail.
It's the fact that he whored himself out.
The song. God, if you look up the clip for that song, I think it's called "Along Came Bialy" or whatever, and it's just rows and rows of old women of him going through, and they're all like just guys dressed up as old women. So not only are they old women, but they're extremely masculine old women.
Oh Jesus!
And the lyrics it's hilarious. It's a full blown comedy. It's great. If you ever find yourself bored and just want to be happy, watch that show. That
sounds great.
But yeah, there you go. So it must be a thing where there's women out there who absolutely want to fork over all that money now for to be reminded what it was like when they were young.
I don't mind some gummy teeth, bro. Where they pop out the dentures. I can do it.
I don't know. I can't say I've experienced it. I've seen. Was it Yes Man? I think that's what it was. Yeah. That's about the closest I've gotten to it.
100%. You know what? Yeah, you pop those dentures out, Granny. Just give me that money when you're dead.
It's like, oh
While
gosh,
you're alive too.
that's got to be. What was it?
We're just not in the right circles. That's all.
Yeah, well, where to begin? I guess clubs and concrete buildings without signs is the best place to start.
No, not clubs because they're grannies. They're asleep by like 8 o'clock, bro.
No, but I guarantee you the people there might know which circles to go to.
Okay,
I think that's
you got a point.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's the congregation of the degenerates.
It's a start. Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
be like, all right, yo, you have an old lady who you don't want to fuck, but she is rich. She's loaded. Yeah, Margaret. Oh, all right, we're gonna see her.
What are you talking about? She's here right now. She's the one that. She's the disc jockey.
Yeah, she's like passed out. Like I'm like, oh, perfect. Just go wake her up. Hello, Margaret. How can I meet you?
It's like, how can I meet
How can
you?
I
It's
help
like,
you?
it's like, oh my god.
I'm already meeting you. Here's some prune juice for you, babe.
Like, you know me so well. It's like we were soulmates. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
Just
I
give me
feel
like
the same
30
way.
grand. Give me like 30 grand a week, and we really will be soulmates.
Oh man, it's like, it's like, it's like I can only imagine the conversation going straight into is like, oh, we're already down to business. It's like you're not very good at this, are you? It's like,
My
oh.
negotiating skills are quite impeccable, as you will notice.
Yeah, do you take it in nickels? It's like, oh man.
You, Grandma, I'll take it in pennies.
Then all of a sudden she brings out a roll, and then you're like, wait a minute, wait, what? No, that's not what I meant.
Oh shit! You gotta go hard in the paint. Okay, I'm not used to being the M. This is gonna take some adjustment.
Let's see. It's for $30,000. It's
Yeah,
to get
you know
my
what? I
kids
just tell
through
myself-
college.
I don't even have kids.
Exactly, but that's what you're telling yourself.
Yeah, like,
Oh,
listen, it's for me, bro. How good is that steak gonna take? Then I feel like you do it right for a while, and then you get sucked into it, and you think she's gonna die, and she just doesn't. You do this for like 6-7 years,
Oh,
and you're just
gosh.
that guy who like you're rich, but at what cost? You're like crying into fucking lamb that's served by like Gordon Ramsay. You're just like, you can't keep going like this.
Oh
I thought it'd be like a couple of years.
Oh,
She won't die. How long can I hold?
Negatives. Oh, my cat's about ready to like do some crazy stuff right now. Oh my god, no. He's gonna like knock over the entire world. Ugh.
Don't knock over the world, cat.
Oh gosh.
Or do. I don't know.
It's funny. I know. I'm impressed. I'm impressed you jumped up 10 feet. I'm not impressed you almost knocked over my computer though. that was almost bad. All right. Let's see here. I guess. Oh, Netflix unveils visual and trailer for Ghost in the Shell. I guess they're trying to. I've never seen it. Not gonna lie,
Really?
it's a classic.
Neither
Never
have
seen
I.
it. But
I'll be honest, neither have I.
I'm trying to think because there's a lot of shows back in the day that I never got around to seeing in its entirety. Like Trigun. I never watched the
Honestly,
entirety of Inuyasha.
Here's the thing, right, about those shows. Like,
Uh-huh.
I'm sure they are still just fine and probably even hold up today, story-wise. But the last time I watched anything from my childhood, it was not as good as I remembered it. So I was like,
Well, what was
disappointed.
it?
So I'd rather. What was it? I'm trying to remember. I forget now. If I remember, I'll let you know. But
I mean,
I rewatched it and I was like, what is this shit? I was like, this is not what I remember from my childhood.
was it like Pokemon or something? It's like I can see that maybe being a thing.
I don't remember what it was. I did. It wasn't this. I just remember I did rewatch it. So I will say this: I did watch the Teenage Mutant Turtles again recently. Those are still pretty good, actually. They kind of hold up.
Oh, okay. Well, I think they were
I would
more
say.
like older kids, like the X-Men were back then. I don't know. I didn't watch those at all either.
The
Oops.
Jim Henson ones, the puppeteer ones, yeah, they were pretty good. They still hold up pretty high.
Oh, the movies.
Yeah, the movies, not the show. The
I was
movies,
gonna
the
say, yeah,
movies.
those movies are still pretty awesome.
Those movies are still, really good. I actually like them better than the reboot that they did.
Oh yeah. Well, I think it was because it was an independent film, right? Like it actually didn't follow a studio. I think it actually was 100% independent and funded by as a fan project. I think.
It might have been. Plus, they were really smart about the first movie. It's like in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of it is shot in New York. Just the actual footages of New York. Yeah, that's New York. Then the rest of the movie took place in like fucking South Carolina or something. That's where they shot it.
Oh
They were
man.
like, yeah, New York's too expensive to fucking film in, bro. How are we gonna be able to afford to make this movie? I got it. We go to South Carolina, baby. Like when they go to the farm or whatever, it says in the credits like that was all in South Carolina or something like that. Some out of the way place.
Oh, it's like, oh, I can only imagine being in the summer heat in those suits, though. Oof.
Oh God.
I
Woo.
mean, it was. It's for the project. It's for the turtles.
Project.
Oh, what's going on here? Okay. Oh, this is the Crunchyroll lineup. What do we?
Ooh,
Love
Crunchyroll
War,
lineup.
Spy. Yeah, Spy Family. It's. I didn't. I remember looking at that, but I thought that was like Love of Kill, and I guess I completely forgot.
Oh, Spy Family. I've heard nothing but good stuff about that.
A couple
I've
of
heard
cuckoos.
that
Yeah,
is-
yeah. That is here. But it's only
Yeah.
dub? What?
What the hell? That doesn't sound right at all. The first episode's not even out.
Is it who made what studio made it? Is it
The Cuckoos?
a couple
I
of
see.
orig-
That doesn't sound right at all. Studio is Sheen A Animation and Synergy SP. The Harem. Oh, I'm so
Oh,
much more interested in it
Wait,
now.
which one? Which one's Harem?
The couple of cuckoo.
Okay, we're going to check this out. We're for science, we got to make sure that
They
it's
released the first,
appropriate.
like, they released 4 minutes of it already. I think, like as a teaser, like the first 4 minutes.
Oh,
look it
maybe
up
that's
actually
why
right now.
it's dub right now because it only has
Yeah.
the dub trailer for it. Maybe that's what's going on. Let's see. Ascendance
come on.
of a Bookworm. Season
Oh,
3.
yeah, here we
I
go.
think I would have heard of it.
First 4 minutes. Oh no, it's still in Japanese for me. Subtitles. Come on, yeah. What do you mean? What the hell?
Oh, here's this.
Why is this not in English?
Oh, no English.
It puts the fucking subtitles in Japanese. I'm like, bruh, I need it
It's
in
like-
English.
Thanks, man. You're the best. It's like,
Thanks
Right.
for nothing. Like,
like-
what the hell?
oh, can I get subtitles for this Japanese? Here. It's like, but it's in Japanese. Like, yeah, it's just subtitles. No, I'm.
More Japanese. Thanks, because I can obviously read Japanese. Fucking asshole, YouTube.
Oh,
God damn, dude.
well, here's this like little goth show. I'm trying to remember what else you would call that. I guess goth fantasy. Is that how
Okay.
you would describe it? Where it's like extremely like dark, like that's where you see a bunch of roses. It's how you would describe like sexy vampires and that stuff. You know what I mean?
I like sexy vampires.
Well,
They can
yeah,
suck
but
my-
like Underworld, but without all the action, and it's all, and they actually loved each other, and like, I guess what Twilight tried to be.
Twilight tried to be.
I'll tell you what,
That right there is gonna make a lot of people angry, right?
I will admit straight up, I read the books. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was okay. So, on the other guys, where the guy
Uh-huh.
learned to dance to make fun of the guy who learned to dance.
Yeah.
So, I kind of had that philosophy for a pretty long time, where I would completely engross myself in something
And something.
that I really disagreed with, just so I could make fun of it properly.
Just so you can have a point and like be right, and like you trap them, like, oh yeah, what about this? And then they just have trapped themselves in this counter argument. They can't win because you're right. I get it. I respect it.
So
respect the
it
hustle.
was that way with Twilight, So ultimately, I lost because I bought all 4 books. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
And I'll tell you what,
I'll tell you what, feller.
it was very. Yeah, it was. The first book was meh. The second book
Okay.
was, huh? The third book was, I guess I'll hang on. And the fourth book was, really? That's it? And that's pretty much my emotions for the all 4 books. And that's
funny.
because all right. So they were. I don't know if you are familiar with the story at all. How familiar are you with it?
I've seen 1, 2, and 3. I never saw the last movie.
Okay, well, good because that war that they built up to didn't
It was
happen.
fake, right? Yeah, it didn't even
Yeah,
happen.
and
It was
that
a vision,
it
right?
was so upsetting. I think I actually threw the book. It's
He
like
said, "Fuck this
it's
book."
like I went through the entire show. I was like, all right, I went through the entire book with the like saying, oh, there's got to be a payoff, right? There's got to be this payoff of like this vampire horde versus vampire horde with like it's like this got to be good. And then they talk about the action scenes, and then it doesn't happen. I was like, I've wasted my life. It's like
I wasted my life. It's still won. I can't win this one. They
it's like
debated me.
they did. It's like she has my money. I'll never get it back.
I saw. Do you watch Hishy Dubs? They do like cartoon parodies of like how it should have ended.
Yeah.
You watch that at all?
Yeah, I do.
I remember watching. I watched that. I never watched the actual movie Breaking Dawn, but I watched that,
Mhm.
and he was like, "So everything you just showed me, that's all your abilities and how you can do it." Yeah. He goes, "Well, thanks for showing us your plan. Now we know how to win."
Exactly.
It's like, why are you gonna show them what everyone's abilities are and what everyone's going to do? Like, I'd rather like, cause oh my god, shit like that. That's kind of the reasons. Like, I'm a huge fairy tale fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of low key get mad at fairy tale because
Uh-huh.
there's no consequences. I think one character has died in the entirety of it.
Oh, really?
One, yeah,
I might
that
think it
stayed
back
dead.
because I only watched like seasons 1 through 5 of Fairy Tale, and I kind of dropped off because I thought it got canceled, but it turns out they like continued for like several more seasons.
It's kind of a mess. So like the guy didn't know how he wanted in the manga,
Uh huh.
and so it kind of ends kind of shittily. And so what they did was is they did like they got to a certain point, and then they did like they went in past. That was Fairy Tale Zero,
Mm-hmm.
and they went in the past and showed like the very Mavis, the creation of Fairy Tale and all that. And then
Mm-hmm.
they skipped forward, and they were it's 2 years later. Natsu's been training on his own, and then he goes like to get the gang back together, and then they skip like 200 chapters to just kind of wrap up the anime, and it's the same shitty ending. I'm like,
Oh no.
nothing. Like, okay, I'll give you an example. Natsu is apparently like a demon. It's like a big kind of like big spoiler. But
I'm
like,
not. I'm
whatever,
not.
It's
I'm
over.
really not
Yeah.
surprised though. That
Yeah, like,
seems
it's
to
pretty
be
obvious.
that's
It's pretty
shonen in
obvious.
general.
Yeah. So he's a demon, right? So he has what's called the demon seed in him, and he has the dragon seed from
Gross.
Ignial being
Right.
in him. Yeah, I know, right? Euphemisms. Oh boy. So he's got to choose which one he wants to be, right? And I'm like, and so like something happens to Lucy, and he thinks she's dead, or he thinks she's dead, and so he goes like full demon mode, and like Gray is like, I guess about to die or something. She's like, oh, I gotta fucking kill Natsu because he's the demon that's supposed to destroy the world. So they're in the middle of fighting. Urza comes in the middle and blocks both their punches, like, you guys need to stop. You're friends, and then it's over. I'm like, kill someone at least. Come on. You know how much more impactful it would have been either way if Natsu killed Gray or Gray had killed Natsu and then been
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh god, what have I done? Like, that would have been so much better. I wanted to see Natsu out of control, just not giving a fuck about who he's beaten the shit to death. Really,
Okay,
like,
so no, you're
no,
absolutely right
no.
because
we can't
okay.
have that. Goes. I'm sorry, I was ranting.
Well, no, you're absolutely right because first off, if you can't handle the high stakes, then don't put them in that position in the first place.
Yeah.
Like then don't have them fight. If you don't want them any of them to die, don't have them fight each other. You control how the story works.
The fight literally was pointless because like nothing. It literally was just like, you guys are friends. We need to stop and actually fight the real bad guys. Oh, okay. That's all that happens. Well, for that plot arc, I was like so pissed, dude, because I was like so hyped for that. I was like, oh yeah, here we go, bam, what the fuck?
Oh god.
And here's the other thing, right? So he's supposed to choose what she's gonna nurture, the demon seed or the dragon seed. It's like, oh, which are you gonna become, a dragon or a demon? He goes, and so okay, another big reveal, right? He's not even the real Natsu, because the real Natsu was from the past, and he's the brother to Zareth, the big bad guy. Okay. And the real Natsu died. And so Zareth, out of his grief, made a clone and put the demon seed in him, and then that clone grew up. Igneo raised him, and then Natsu and a couple other people from the actual past. Lucy's mom basically sacrificed life to pull them from the past to the quote-unquote present to fight Zareth. It's a whole lot of shit. I'm just speed rolling through it because to make my point because of how pissed I am. So he's supposed to choose. He's a clone. He's not even really a person. He's supposed to choose. Am I going to become a demon? Or am I going to become a dragon? You know? And he goes, I'm a human because I say so. And he loses both seeds and just is a fucking human who has just still the Dragon Slayer powers. I'm like, this is horse shit.
It's like, well, that escalated quickly.
There's just no consequences. Another perfect example. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go off on this for a hot minute.
Go for it.
Lucy's literally breaking like laws of reality to rewrite his book because he's a demon of Zareth, so he's a book. So she's literally writing that like, yeah, he's a human. He's allowed to live because his book doesn't say that. So he like starts dying from the inside, not even existing. She literally like breaks reality, like goes blind for like an episode, gets her vision back, and like, yeah, oh no, yeah, I wrote it into existence, so it's fine, and it's just fine. It's like, what?
That's a very powerful book. That's
yeah.
To break the worlds.
But like, no, she broke reality rewriting the book, so she should have like lost her life. No, it's fine. I can rewrite people's life's books. It's written before I was even born, and it's fine. I'm like,
okay,
what the fuck?
Yeah,
Makarov, another great thing. Makarov uses fairy law, right? Because he's the old man. He uses fairy law, which is like one of the ultimate techniques in magic. Uses his life because he was running out of magic, and he's just like, I'm gonna use fairy law to save you guys. Gets turned to stone. Everyone's like fucking heartbroken. After they kill, or I don't know if they kill Zareth, but they beat Zareth. Then Achnotologia is like the next big bad, and like all the Dragon Slayers get teleported to like some alternate dimension. Natsu uses all the fucking Dragon Slayers combine and punches Achnotologia, wins with a single punch, whatever, bullshit. They come back from that, Makarov's stone statue crumbles, and he's like normal underneath, and he's alive again. I'm like, he didn't even stay dead, bro. Like, nothing matters. There's no stakes involved, because everyone just comes back to life.
Well, okay, so two things. One, Dragon Ball does this, right? Because Dragon Balls exist. So no one's ever permanently dead. So, but they're able to pull it off. But the reason that they're able to pull it off, I think, is because I think people underestimate the power of posturing and new forms to attain. I think that's what carries that show. But then you think about in Naruto, right? That can't carry that show. Can you imagine if Jiraiya like came back to life?
God, it would ruin that show.
It
would. I've never watched a single episode, but this guy told me all about it, and he told me the importance of it. I'm like, yeah, if he just came back to life, that would ruin it.
Wait, did you not see the original?
I never watched a single episode of any of it, bro. I know things because the guy told me.
Whoa, is that a generational thing? Do you think that's what that is? That's like 700 episodes of like anime culture, something like that. I know
it definitely. I definitely had the opportunity to, but like,
I don't think so anymore. Anime. That's a lot of your life, man. I think you're just gonna have to go based off of what other people say.
I think that's fine. I'm not gonna deep dive into it. I'm saying like when I grew up, I had the opportunity. I just never did watch it, and a part of it was because like when I hit like young teenage to teenagers, that's like 10 to like 18. I didn't really watch like cartoons and anything like that looked like that. I was like, anime, I was like, oh, it's just cartoons because I didn't know the difference. And then like I went to college and I watched Rosario Vampire, on Netflix of all things. I was like, what is this?
Oh,
And I was
that's
like,
a
oh,
good
this
one.
is not. Yeah, I was like, this isn't cartoons. This is great.
I guess
What is that? And that's how I fell down the rabbit hole of anime, bro. Was fucking Netflix and Rosario Vampire.
Oh man, I actually that's like one of the few mangas I actually bought because there's like other characters that aren't even in the show, and
Yeah,
it
they
goes
kind
on
of did the
past it.
show dirty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had
they did
no.
the show really dirty.
it's, it's funny that you mentioned that because whenever you said Rosario Vampire, I immediately like my inner child like came back. I was like, oh yes, like because I watched that when I was like
Oh yeah,
19
dude.
years old,
Oh yeah.
and it was like it made me like had that little giggle like it's
I
like I
think that's literally
remember.
when I watched it. Was 19. Like what the hell? And it was dubbed. They had the dub,
Uh-huh.
and it was Todd Abercorn as Skune. It was Alexis Tipton as the pink-haired Mocha. It was oh, what's her name? Oh God, the girl who voices Urza. Oh my, Colleen Klinkenbeard as white-haired Mocha. They had Brina Palencia as the blue-haired succubus. I think her name was Kurumi.
Mm-hmm.
They had Monica Rial as the witch, the flat-chested one, and then oh my God, who was the fucking werewolf? The werewolf was he's hilarious. He plays like a lot of like the goofy kind of characters in fucking anime. I forget his name. I'll remember here in a minute probably. And then the other girl, the ice girl, was uh oh, what was her name? Oh, her name's on the tip of my tongue. Freaking fuck! I gotta look it up because I can't remember now. But like, yeah, and I was like, oh, these. That's why I used to watch nothing but dubs because I started with dubs and I still enjoy dubs here and there, but I
Mm-hmm.
have easily watched many more subs now.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Well, it's funny that you. Oh God, it's just it
who
brings me
the
back to like another. It brings me back to another time, because that age of harem is just gone now. You
yeah,
don't
because
really
that's
see
it's
those
not
kind of
popular
shows.
anymore.
Yeah, you don't see those
Yeah.
kind of shows. I don't know why. I think maybe people just got completely desensitized to it. Like if you talk to somebody and because it became like God, I don't want to say culture of its own because it sounds creepy, but it kind of did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's things that
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, look, striped panties, like that was a thing. Like you just knew that was a thing. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it's
Like,
what's hot. No, yeah, yeah.
it's
It just took me for a loop that you just came out and said it like that. I was like, what the.
no, that's like what it was. Like you just realized, like, oh, those are striped panties. This must be a harem. Like it was
Yep.
a
Yeah,
landmark. It was
100%. Tia Ballard, that was her name. Tia Ballard, and then the fucking werewolf guy, Ian Sinclair. That's who he was.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You know what? I'm gonna have to applaud you a little bit for even knowing
Mhm.
these voice actors because I'm not gonna lie, I take zero interest in the people who voice these characters. I have
Here's the
no
thing, dude.
idea.
I rewatched that probably like 50 to 100 times just because
Oh
like
yeah.
that's they had that and Kazi no Stigma, and that's all I watched
Oh
because
my
those are my two gateway
god.
animes. So I just watched the fuck out of those two animes, and then like when I watched Fairy Tale because I was like, oh, this is on Funimation. Let me get a Funimation account because they had like the first 48 episodes of Fairy Tale on Netflix, and after about like 6 months or so, I started realizing like, yeah, they're not gonna get any more. So I just went to Funimation for my source, and like Todd Habercorn was in a lot of shit because he was a lot very. He doesn't do a lot of voice acting anymore, but it's always
Mhm.
the same names. I noticed. So that's why like I remember them. Todd Habercorn was like my favorite. And then the guy who voices fucking the main character from Kaze. What's the fucking main character's name? I forget already. It's like Kanagi. Kazuma Kanagi. Who the fuck is his voice actor? Robert something. Yeah, I was like I really liked his character, and then Jeremy Lee. Like, it was all the same names. So that's why I started paying attention. Like, and then I would watch only the stuff they dubbed, you know. And then that was like right before Funimation's big dub boom. And then they had a huge dub boom, and I was just like, oh yeah, watching all this anime. And then another guy, Josh, fucking what the fuck is his last name? I can't remember. He voices Data Live guy, the main character of it. Yeah, you just notice Josh Greel or Relay, something like that. Yeah, you just start noticing the same names over and over again. So I like was watching all their shit. And that's why it stuck with me, because that's why I stick with the voice actors. Or used to. Now I just watch like so much sub, and I don't really care. Just as long as the voice fits. Because there's been some like subs where I'm like, yeah, I hate the main character's voice actor, and I just like the way he sounds. It just isn't right for the main character, so I just drop the show. And then like I'll watch the dub. I'm like, oh, that's fixed. I actually had a reverse of that. I saw a clip of Fire Force dub, and I hate the guy who voices Shinra for the English dub. God. I heard that, and I was like, I actually cringed. I like my face shrunk in itself. I was like, oh no. And I hit X, and I have not touched the dub since.
Oh man. Now you're bringing up Fire Force. Is like, oh, because there's a lot of anime that I just dropped because I lost interest in it. And I've seen that a lot now, man. Maybe that's why I'm looking for those old harems. I'm chasing that dragon.
You're chasing ghosts, bro. You're like, where's this time of like the shit that got me into it? Like, why can I not have it again? Yeah, like I get you. I'll put it to you this way: I owned Rosario Vampire on DVD because they didn't have it on Blu-ray. Funimation re-released it on Blu-ray, and I fucking pre-ordered that shit, and I own it. And I'm not gonna lie, I rewatched it on the Blu-ray. I was gonna say, oh yeah, visual upgrades, baby, let's go.
Yeah, all my experiences were from good old fashioned Pirate Bay and LimeWire. Like that's my because they didn't have it. They didn't have this stuff on like DVD and everything like that. I remember watching the original Pokemon Origins now, because this is where we're going to end this on this wonderful thing from Pokemon Origins. I think I may have mentioned this before.
Oh boy!
But it was like 2013.
Okay.
I downloaded Pokemon Origins, and whenever I was watching it, it was episode 1 when Charmander got bit by the Squirtle.
Okay.
And that scream from that Charmander had me clenching the arm of the chair. Do you know what scene I'm talking about?
I think I do. I gotta look this up. Hold on. I have to hear this.
Because they took it out of the English version. I don't even think you can really even see it anymore. Like, if you found Pokemon Origins, the scream doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, they got rid of it. With original scream?
Yeah, the original scream isn't available anymore. You have to find it on YouTube.
I'm on it right now. Oh my god! Here you go! Here you go! You're gonna tell me if this is the right one. This is great. This is fucking great. Okay. Sounds like he's getting fucking murdered.
Exactly, and that's so it actually really hit home. Like whenever like Green is just looking at Red, being like, "Dude, you gonna do something?" Your foot, like, do you not hear that?
Did you not hear that? Ah!
Okay, all right.
Just like 5 seconds or something like that.
Okay, let me just do it. That's
if you watch the whole thing, he does a quick one when he gets tackled first. He's just,
the scream is so bad.
He's getting fucking murdered, dude. I feel like they went and recorded a mugging. They're like, no, just keep going. We just need the audio. And they just kept
Oh my god! This is actually happening.
He's getting fucking caped.
Let's make sure Peta doesn't get a hold of this, because they're gonna have some justification now. Oh my all right.
Bite. Ah!
Well, I guess that's where we're gonna call it for tonight. On that wonderful awfulness of the Charmander's scream from the.
And don't get fucking bit by a Squirtle, apparently, because that's just death. Oh my god, dude. I can't believe that shit.
All right. Well, I hope you guys have a good one. This is Coughlin.
And this has been Kratos.
It's like, go to bed.
Because we won't.
That's right.